Hey everybody, how you doing? This is TruePowerIsMine, and this is TPIM SR Live. I have Dr. Randy Short on the line again with us in the Missouri studio on this stormy, and I mean really stormy night. Doctor, you still there?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm here.
Awesome. So I'm just gonna. Everybody knows who you are. No need for no fancy dancy intro. And I know we're gonna have a bunch of people popping in. Uh, YouTube's been trying to suppress the channel. I just want you to know. But we're not going to let that stop us. I'm not here to be validated by YouTube, nor are you. So go ahead and share with the listeners what you want. They're already piling in.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. I want people to notice. One, you see the Great Pumpkin has stepped up their activity. Actually, we should say Rasputia. I was watching that, and I realized how much Rasputia looks like Sheila Jackson Lee. She does. And did you see the guy down at the Parkwood School, the one that wouldn't rush in? The same officer who probably was racially profiling all the young black men down at Parkdale School. And by the way, did you know he looked like Auntie from the Andy Griffith Show? Andy! You know, and he looked weak. Now, I just want to talk about Virginia Beach for a second. There are lots of different things, so, people can ask questions. This is just a grab bag on the news.
Right.
But the thing I want to mention, the guy who shot up the Virginia Beach place was a black engineer that you already know. His last name was Craddock. What's interesting is I did a show for Dry Bones, and one of Dry Bones' people called me, and I told him, because, I'm always interested in genealogy and linkages, and I swear to you, it's like a science. All the people that I'm somehow or possibly tentatively connected to from East Carolina think the same way. I could talk to them for 4 or 5 minutes, but wait a minute, there's so much stuff until like the thoughts are commingled. I said, wait a minute, where are you from? Really? And you know what? They always come from East Carolina, Northeast Carolina, always. Or Southeast Virginia, always. Well, this guy was from Northeast Carolina. And I says, well, you know how crazy the black people down there are. I says, yeah, I've heard stories, and nobody wants to talk about anything, blah, 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 blah. But he's heard it. And we were looking at family names, and it turns out he had family in Elizabeth City. Elizabeth City's not far from all the towns, Battleboro, Tallboro, Wilson, Elm City, Rocky Mount. All the people there are related somehow, or interconnected somehow. And he said, now my father's family got some really, they're brilliant people, but they're like wild. They'll go crazy. He says, have you ever heard of the Craddocks? And I told him no. He says, well, yeah, they can go postal. Whoa. Well, Craddock, who shot up the people in Virginia Beach, his family's from North Carolina.
Oh, man. So...
And I'm trying to tell you, brother, when I heard that they killed the shooter, I said, he's black. He's got to be.
Yes.
And the next thing in my mind was, they didn't come up with any criminal stuff. I said, okay, well-educated, well-trained, blah, blah, blah. No, okay. And I was thinking, Virginia Beach is just across it's in Southeast Virginia, right? I'm sorry. And it's just across the line from North Carolina. And I said, I wonder if the family's from North Carolina. The family is from North Carolina.
Wow.
And I've been having these conversations that the black people down there that came out of the swamps, the dismal swamp, that weren't slaves, black folk have like a real anger management problem that's genetic. That goes all back to people that just, get the hell back with your whips. I can't pick nobody's cotton. In fact, I'm not picking cotton at all, or tobacco. We're talking about people killing the slave master, just killing anybody. Just, I can't be a slave. I can't do it.
Right. They were warriors. They were Maroons and
Well, they had a history of people having breakdowns in Carolina and Virginia. Someone snapping just got hurt everybody.
Because of all the stress of the oppression that they were under?
That's the depression. And right now, the whole media is lying, saying that they have no motive for why this man shot everybody. He resigned just hours before going in, and he didn't get an AR-15. He did all that shooting with the 45.
Yeah. It makes a very big exit wound, 45s do, especially if you use hollow points.
Yeah, but dude wanted them to see him. This isn't like the guy at the mosque with the AR-15 shooting people at distance. He wanted people to see him doing it.
Right.
And he got three black people and 9 white people. And he shot women as well as men. I don't know anything about the victims, but these are gut thoughts. The women, catty, white office women, the kind that always hold down black men. The kind that were the teachers that write up all of our young black men from prison to pipeline.
Right.
Because you know what? When folks are really angry, they don't necessarily go after women. Dudes kill men and women, black and white. I haven't heard, but I know at least one of the black men, I think, is single. If all 3 black folks are single,
they were all single.
And let's say all, I think one was single.
Oh, okay.
If all of them were unmarried, this is not a thought. This is not a fact. You know what? I'll come at you and I'll tell you this is what it is. My feeling is, did he kill 3 gay black people?
Wow.
Or liquid type black people, or black folks that go around coonish type black people? Did he get them too? The fact is, there were other black people there in that building. He got those 3.
Specifically.
I'm wondering. And he knew who the people were. And then he got 9 white folks. In fact, they said he shot the most popular white person in the building.
Well,
the same white people.
Could it be a situation like this, Doctor? The black people were participating in the racial, perhaps, anxiety of the situation, meaning that they were the straw bosses for the popular guy.
Maybe. I don't know. But the other thing is, that's quite interesting to me, is that he resigned 2 hours, and you know what? They didn't say, hey, look, man, you're a valued worker here. Let's meet. Do you want to take some time off? This job will still be here. It seems as if when they were that quick to just let him go through the email, they didn't require a meeting or anything with him. That's right there on CNN. Come on, you've had a job. You don't just get to resign over there. They want to come in and talk to him and fill in paperwork, right?
They're usually escorted out the door as well.
But he wasn't in the building. Think about, or whatever it is. But they were so quick to say, yeah, we'll go. Bye. You don't do that to a valued employee. They were pressing him out. Now, what I do have, maybe you remember, maybe you don't. There was a black engineer. Remember, this guy's in engineering. These math and science Negroes think white people need them. Right. They tell I've met a lot of other people in science. They just, man, well, I ain't like you. I'm good in math. I'm good in science. In other words, I'm better than you niggas that didn't have good math teachers in the engineering school. So they need me. I can fit to this element. I've met such people who said as much to me. When these people get mistreated, their numerate, quantitative, analytical answers can't handle feeling the hatred of white people that most of us feel because they've always seen themselves as being a little better. Now, I want to know what Craddock looks like. Thus far, they haven't put a picture up. Have you seen the picture?
Yeah, I had a picture on the show yesterday. That the
Is he
picture that
fair
they had of him,
complected?
they cut his face. They put the right side on the left side and the left side on the right side, and it was in black and white.
Okay. Is he light skinned?
No, he was medium complexion. He was dark. I mean,
Medium. No, he wasn't super dark. No. I'm going somewhere. I knew he wasn't super dark. I'm just assuming.
no, he wasn't
So he's
super dark, but he wasn't really
okay.
light either. Like he wasn't a Drake complexion.
No. But enough to get treated a little better. Okay. No, we have. Let's stop playing games. We have a hierarchy of treatment. You go to a prison in this country, and the average complexion of the person is darker than the average for black folks. We have a throwaway population based on color. Yes, we do.
Explain it for the uninitiated, doctor.
Not uninitiated. When you're mellow, when you're yellow, you're mellow. When you're brown, stick around. When you're black, get the hell back.
Mm,
We practice it too.
mm.
And let me share with you, several of the mass shooters have been medium to light complected. Remember the shooter down in Virginia, the gay one that liked having sex with white men that couldn't handle being fired and went and killed the white woman and the white cameraman back in 2015?
Yeah, yeah. I
Light
didn't know he
skin.
was gay.
Or not too light, not young, but not too light, but light.
Yeah.
I'm better than the other ones. I'm not like Wesley Snipes and Idris Elba.
Oh my
You
God.
can see the white in me. Consider me for the white I have.
Oh my
Don't
God.
punish me. Like, come on, we do it. Yeah, we do it. Yes, black people do it. So if dude had a little bit of this, they haven't said where he went to college, or have they said? Did he go to a white school?
Yeah. I'm not for sure what school he went to.
See, they're not saying certain things. Because the profile in my mind, without the information, is that he was a gifted, bright person who went to white schools and was a go along to get along type black person, and it got ugly. Now,
As it always does.
I don't know if you recall, but there was a black postal shooting at IBM in the 1980s. Remember that?
Mm.
A black guy, he was an engineer, was treated badly, had like a complete meltdown, was playing with his trains at home, having been mistreated, and went in and shot up all the people at IBM and committed suicide.
Oh my God.
I think his name is Eddie, and the last name may be Gibbs. I knew his mother. Mother, light skin, wavy hair, could almost pass for Jewish or something. She was really pressed it and insisted he wasn't black. Light skin, wavy to moderately curly hair, possibly hazel eyes.
Wow.
Someone black who's been gently handled by black folks, because we worship whiteness. We worship it when it's blonde hair and blue eyes, and we worship it when it's light brown hair and green eyes.
And
Sure,
why
we
do you
do.
think that's so?
Because white supremacy is a concept for white people. It's a doctrine, a dogma for black people. We believe it more than they do. If white folks, if they really believed in white supremacy, you wouldn't mind integrated schools. You would everything because blacks can't compete.
Right.
That would be fun. Let them do it because they'll fail. Whites don't believe in white supremacy. They preach it. Blacks believe in white supremacy. White people talk about it. When you have a house full of guns, that's because you don't feel secure.
That's true. That's true. I mean, some people have said if you place a Bible and a gun in the same place, they kind of spiritually counteract each other.
Well, yeah, we don't even want the Bible anymore. So I want to think about Craddock. My sense is a privileged, either rags to middle-class riches, or a black person who had been treated fairly well, had an awakening, a rage awakening that they had no value. and they couldn't handle it. And they decided to, then I'm going to be a nigga for real. And I think they've been holding it in all these years, holding it in, and he snapped. And we're not hearing a lot about these three black people. One of them was gospel singer that put him on a potential LGBTQ watch list. I'm not certain. I just said, Simpson, there was something about him singing. I sing a little bit, but my God, I'm not someone in church singing all the time. And so, are you hearing me, brother?
I'm hearing you.
I know folks are getting mad at me. You can't prove all this stuff. I didn't say it was fact. I just said it's a thought.
Exactly.
And the thing that scares me is how often these little teeny tiny thoughts of little old me turn out to be right. I don't even have the information to look at. Now, I want to say something to you. When my grandfather went on his rampage and shot and killed white guy down in Rocky Mount, he passed through Virginia Beach and was shipped out of Norfolk. And you need to understand something. Virginia Beach is very close to the Dismal Swamp.
So what is it, this region of the state that's people are kind of off, or is it the culture of the people?
No, they're not off. Virginia is a super racist state. So for all the people who think I'm so militant, my parents would have never talked to me about race. They grew up in a segregated world. They happened to raise me in a desegregated area of Virginia. And that's why I learned all about race. I learned it from the little white kids whose parents would teach them stuff, and then they'd come out and teach me. And I had to go back and ask my parents, why the hell do we not talk about this? How does this kid come out of their house with the bat to crack my head open because I'm black? And we don't talk about race? Shouldn't I know why someone wants to split my head open?
Well, yeah.
But, you know, we black people don't like talking. We're phonies. I don't know who's phonier. I think, actually, I'm going to just say it. I think black women tend to be phonier. Well, I don't want my children to know all this stuff. They get all off in this little emotional estrogen thing. Yes, I'm saying that to make some of y'all mad. A lot of black mothers do not educate their children because I don't want my child to be bitter.
Wow.
By the way, you can almost assess that because look at who has the most hair dyed blonde, black men or black women. Who has the hair dyed blonde most often?
Well, I would say women. You know.
Exactly. And they're the main ones that get mad at the black man wanting the white woman as a blonde, but that you dye your hair blonde. Now, what is going on?
Yes.
Somebody's confused here. Someone's wrong. And so who's raising the black children in America who hate themselves? Who's teaching the kids that the white doll baby is prettier than the black doll baby? If the father's not in the home, who's teaching the child that they don't have any value? Who spends all their time getting their damn nails done? Someone's got to answer to this. Why is this same demographic getting disproportionate number of abortions? There's some real issues that we have to talk about in our community, but people not conveying identity. Like, who is the real father of the child? How come you don't want him to know? And if you didn't want anybody to know, you shouldn't spread your legs for him. That's real talk. I mean, children have a right to their identity, both racial and familial. And so, yeah, if you're the backbone and you're the mother and all that mother civilization, then damn it, do the work of a mother of the civilization. Or not, you're a barbarian of civilization if you're not teaching the children who they are. That's the least thing that you expect to get from a mother or a grandmother. Some of us are not doing our work.
You know, a lot of the whole mother thing is because they hold a lot of secrets. Sometimes the baby's not the father's or who's pretending to be the father. And they feel as if it's best for the family that they keep these secrets at. Once these secrets are
it's not best for the family. It's best for me as an individual. So I'm not accountable for choices that I made, and I create a culture of no accountability. I wasn't accountable, so my children won't be accountable.
Wow.
Well, then, so yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I don't want nobody to know, and nobody can judge me. Well, why can't I judge you? Why did you make sperm milkshake with all of the dudes on the lacrosse team? All of them,
A lot of that.
right?
Don't forget, Doctor. These females are on a mission, as most men should be on a mission, to find a woman that loves them, to raise family and whatnot. A lot of these females are on a mission to find the guy with the biggest wallet or the guy with the cutest looks, and that's all they're out for. And they'll go from guy to guy to guy, not realizing that they're just literally being used as a biological nut bucket. But until they're washed up, used up, stretch marched out, then nothing's going to change. And nothing's going to change even after that point because they're committed to that lifestyle by then.
No, I'm, and I want to say to the brothers out here that, I remember working the first job I had out of Howard, and there was a black person. I'm glad I didn't go postal, but he never ever spoke to me. He was higher level. I always be polite to him, and he would never speak to me. Make certain that he never communicated with me because I was black. Every day, just always not. And we had bathrooms outside of the office area in the secure building. I didn't have a key to come into the secure doors. So what would happen is if I went to the bathroom, I'd have to wait for someone to let me come back in on the floor to work.
Oh.
I left out to the bathroom behind this man. He saw me. And when it was time for me to go back in, once I washed my hands, because I wash my hands when I use the bathroom. I don't know about other people. And what the man did was he pulled the door shut so I couldn't get in. Now, he saw me leave, right?
Right.
I left out behind him from the secure area. I went in the bathroom at the same time as him. Why did you need to lock me out?
Because he don't want the master thinking you two are conspiring.
So let me share with you. I embarrassed him. I embarrassed him and says, you know what? Security, I understand. Hypocrisy, I don't want to understand. You saw me leave the secure area. I was in the same bathroom as you. I didn't want to stand next to you. Did I need to stand next to you when you pissed for you to remember that we walked out of the same secure area on the same floor? And says, and you've seen me. I'm the only young black person, male, working on this floor. You had to know I've been here for 2 months. But did you think I was breaking in to do someone else's work? And the people, they were laughing at this man. I'm talking about the white people were laughing in this man's face. Then I never had another problem. He was so embarrassed he couldn't look at me for the remainder of the time I worked there. But his whole thing was about making me feel unwelcome beyond what anybody racist did. Like, dude, why are you working? I don't try to hang out or visit your office or ask you for a recommendation. I've done nothing. I've made no request of you. These are the kinds of people that you're going to see increasingly get hurt as black men have meltdowns across America, and as America has failed to make mass shootings something that you give the death penalty for and you punish people thoroughly for it. As long as they make excuses for white men doing it, by the way, this black dude, he did a wannabe move. That was a wannabe. He wanted to be like the white person to shoot up and kill people because black folks, they do that sometimes. But it's not as often. White men do most of the mass shootings. Oh, yes. So even when dude went out like a white guy. He went out like a white dude. I mean, he should have been listening to Garth Brooks and his Bluetooth before he went out. I mean, it's just, I think it's senseless for people to do these things, but I see more of it happening. And I see a certain type of black person that doesn't bond or connect to other black people. Or they thought they were special, they're privileged, and all of a sudden the illegal alien or the Asians, all these other people get all the opportunities. Yeah, and they don't know how to handle that. And how do you handle being treated as an inferior? It's not easy. So that's one thing. Now, something else I want to mention to you, because we were talking about that on my fellowship call when you called in. You heard that the head of the EPA, some disgusting redneck, said that the water in Flint was safe to drink.
That's and bullshit. What has that's a total lie. It is unfit as fuck.
The coons that I know of who are black Republicans, I sent an email last night telling them they were traitors to their race and to God, and to how can you be pro-life? You care about a damn baby getting aborted, but you don't care about 9 to 10 to 15,000 babies being poisoned.
See, that's what how can they be like that? That's
no, because they don't really care, and it's disgusting. And I don't care what side you look, left or right. We need a movement amongst black folks. I'm going to keep to go after turncoats and traitors, and it until this happens, we'll never get relief. By the way, one of the new turncoats that I want people to focus attention on is Congressman Cedric Richmond from New Orleans, who's working for the Biden campaign. Okay, I guess Simone Sanders, who looks like Magic Johnson Jr. She does look like Magic Johnson Jr. She is a disgrace. I mean, Joe Biden is an enemy of black people. And Trump has a bunch of like hardcore peckerwoods in his administration. No doubt about it. You don't hear me defending that. Okay, not at all. But I'll tell you something. Biden's people are a lot slicker. He's been screwing black people a lot longer than Trump has, and he was trained by the Klansmen in the Congress and in the Senate. We can't let this dude get by us. We better not let that happen. We better not trust Biden. Black folk need to wake up on Biden. Biden is not a friend.
I think we have. I mean, if you listen to the new voice of black media, you know, other YouTubers out there, it's pretty much the whole line. You know, Biden's no good, Hillary's no good, liberals in general are a joke. I mean, once people realized that the NAACP didn't have its first black chairman of the board until the 1970s, and it was created in the 30s, then one starts to understand what's really afoot here. It doesn't matter.
You said in the 40s, the NAACP was started in 1909.
Wow, even further back than I thought.
Yeah, 1909, and they had something before that. And we know that the NAACP was what?
Jewish
dominate. Yeah, a Jewish dominate. It's like a precursor to the ADL.
Yes, which is the new, and they would bust up a black, you know, anybody anti-Jewish or and you
not
know,
anti-Jewish. You don't have to be anti-Jewish. The ADL denounced me as an anti-Semite for saying that you had judicial corruption in Florida. How is that anti-Jewish unless you're saying all the judges are Jews? I never said that. Well, then that should worry them. Are Jews the majority of the people in Florida where all of the judges happen to be in one group? That can't be normal. Maybe if most of the judges, yes, but like if you think all of them are.
Well, the problem is, Doctor, is that, you know, you make a differentiation between the ancient Jews of the Bible and the small hats running the show today. In other words, the Jews of the Bible that has the true inheritance of Israel are actually black folks. The Jews, the small hats running the show now, are Eastern European converts. And on top of that, there was a survey recently done in Israel, and it was like 61% of them said that they were atheists. So you take the land in the name of God as part of your inheritance, but in reality, You don't even believe in God. How does that really work?
It seems to work kind of well with all the billions of dollars they get every year from the U.S.
Oh, and how many Jews did we put in the gas chambers again? Why are we paying them reparations?
I don't know exactly how many people were killed in Europe.
No, how many
but
people were responsible by the United States government in the gas chamber at Dachau or in any of the other concentration camps throughout Poland? How many Americans participated in the extermination of the Jews?
Well, actually, the Bush family, I.G. Farben, and all these companies did business with the Bush and other families.
Right. I.G. Farben was the company that made the XX gas that was thrown down into the gas chambers.
Auschwitz was established by Americans, the partners of the Bush family.
But that was private corporations. That was not ordained by the United States government. That's a private corporation. Like Ford had factories in France that was making trucks for the Vermont or the German army. So, you know, when we talk about corporations, that's different because they're on a different level than actual nation. The nation of the United States did not participate in the extermination of the Jews. So, therefore, the nation of the United States should not pay reparations to these people without paying reparations to the descendants of slaves, which should be given reparations because of the legacy of hate, racism, and Jim Crow in this, yes, baby, in this country.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think reparations is a win. Whether it happens or not, it should happen.
That's why I'm on the Black Caucus. Forget them. As a politician, every Black Caucus member, every senator, well, just the one, and all 52 of the House members should have stood in solidarity saying it would behoove the country to make this segment of the population economically viable. And with these reparation installment checks to that said community, and here's the give and here's the take, unfortunately. If you want to participate in the reparation program, you would have to submit to a DNA sample that can be compared from a large library of known slaves. So that's how we can determine who is who just came in off the turnip boat versus who's been out there in the field getting their ass kicked for 400 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And we can do that with a drop of the dime. But it won't happen, folks. You know the reason why? Because of hate. There's just people that just straight up hate us. I'm sorry. They just straight up hate us, and they have power. A lot of power. But we are getting stronger every day. And we will be powerful. Now, Doctor, have you been following the abortion issue lately?
Not really, although, I hate abortion. Abortion is murder. Okay, quote me. MUIDER, like RESPCT. It's murder. It's killing. And, yeah, if you got an abortion, you killed a living person, okay? I don't care how you feel about it. So that's the truth. Abortion is murder, okay? Okay, and you got away with it, but abortion is still murder. I don't care who told you it was good. And no, I don't want to put people in jail for getting abortions, but it is, you killed a life. You took a life of a baby that was forming inside of you. Right. And if you're one of those sorry punk-ass black men who push the girl, go, you gonna kill this goddamn thing, huh? I have a rap career ahead of me. I just sold 100 CDs on my back.
Let's be honest, right? Doctor. Let's be honest. The real reason, I got a wife at home. You got to get rid of this baby girl. The church, what is the church? I'm the minister of this church. We can't do none of that. That's who's killing these damn babies. That little juju boy that don't have nothing. He wants his baby because at least that's extra, I guess, government assistance or whatever. That's what level he's thinking on. The other dude, he's thinking on a totally different level because he already has the house. He already has the car. He already has the Tide plate. But he still gets that little extra snack on the side. And that's what gets people hemmed up. And that's when they want to be like, shh, let's make a secret. I'm going to give you a couple of dollars. and you go to the Bahamas after you go by this clinic. And these girls, it's a hustle. I hate to say it, man. It's like a hustle for Satan. You do these immoral acts, you get caught up in the act, and to try to cover your tracks, you commit murder.
Right. That's
and
right.
Sister Janice from the chat room, those abortion laws are for white women. And that is true because we've done many shows about the birth rate decline, not just here in the United States, but throughout the AKA Western/white world. And a lot of this due to the fact for, during the 50s and 60s, a lot of these men, Edomite men, were actually working in high-tech environments that were getting dosed up with chemicals, unbeknownst to them. Because we all should know by now, the chemical companies don't care. They don't care about the workers. They don't care about the consumers. They just literally want as many people to die as humanly possible by their products. So, I think the real thing here that we got to remember is if this nation falls, what are you going to do? Personally, what are you going to do if the United States falls? Are you going to relocate to another country? Do you have allies outside the United States?
Oh my God! Well, if you're an ADOS, you don't want any.
No. I got a studio audience member that's a little upset. She's a little upset because I really refuse to get her a bottle. I'm trying to break her off the bottle, yeah. Please bear with me. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. And why don't you go and see what they're doing? They got a movie on in the background. Yeah, go and check out what your brothers and sisters are doing. Yeah, go to the green room. And people say you can't reason with children. You can. You can reason with anyone. But the point is you have to have the conversation. If we never have conversations, then you cannot reasonably expect anything to truly change. So, what do you think would be a solution, Doctor, to where we're at?
Well, I see there's hope. There's always hope. I'm always optimistic, although there are a lot of things that are not. It doesn't always look optimistic. It still is. We've got a good situation, like you told me. This independent black media group that's refusing to march to the Democratic Party's beat. And I'm thinking that eventually this independent media, and I'm going to challenge you to do it, it's time for us to go after the black conservatives. Now, they told us if a Republican got in, not that we worship one part or the other, I don't. But these people get close to the corridors of power, and they're no different from the coon Democrats.
But the coon Democrats want you to be gay. I mean, it's as if the conservative wants to somehow try to save your soul through suffering and pain. And then it's like the Democrats want to utterly destroy your soul through so-called fun and pleasure, meaning be sexually immoral, whether you're homosexual or heterosexual, meaning abort babies, meaning basically take from others and give to those who would just squander it away. That's the philosophy that they've been running with, breaking up families. They're not about strong families. Yes, we'll give the woman something, but the man has to get out the home, and he better not be around here. So these things are designed to not only cause pain and suffering, give you the illusion of pleasure while you're living through it, but then when you die, your soul is lost as well.
Well, here's the thing for me, brother. I'm looking at the Republicans because to me, if you don't have safe drinking water, you don't have anything. I mean, you can't live without water.
No, you can't.
Now,
But maybe that's the point, doctor. Maybe that's the point. You're not meant to live.
Yeah, but the point is that only God determines who's meant to live and who doesn't live. Well, and we shouldn't allow anyone to play God with us. Nobody.
Played before. 80 years ago, people were being stuffed into easy bake ovens. Now, we have to get real with it, and we have to understand the same heart, the same spirit is still on this earth that was in the earth of those people that did that deed back then. The only advantage now, they have automated systems and robotic technologies to assist them in their unrighteous activities.
Yeah, well, I absolutely agree that it's the same spirit. It is the same spirit. But also, we need to remember that there was a spirit among the people who were shook and baked by their own traitors in their ranks, which we have right now. And in the words of an associate of mine, he said to me, he's convinced even if people were coming to slaughter us, some of these Republicans would not even open their mouths. They would even protest.
They would be like the Jewish rabbis that herded the people onto the trains back in the day. Oh, it'll be okay, Shalom, it'll be okay. Here's a bagel, blah, blah, blah. Once your ass is on that train going down the line, he's getting a couple of dirt marks from old boy, the SS officer in charge of the operation. He goes back to this little part of the ghetto, waiting his turn. You see, they always have the Judas goats.
And we have a lot of traitors in our community. I'm telling you, we've got more scum. And until we get tired of this scum, I mean, really tired, we're going to keep having certain problems.
Well, I have a solution of sorts. It's called scum conversion. You have to convert an individual, or should I say subvert, however you want to look at it, to your side of understanding if they're intelligent enough to comprehend your thought. If not, then you ultimately got to lead them to natural selections. Because, believe it or not, a lot of those, as you say, coons and whatnot, they get taken out by their very masters. Come on, boy, let's go back here and shoot these guns. Yells, boss. Gets in that truck and you never see him again. All right? We have to understand that the spirit is moving now. It should be quite obvious. I'm just patiently waiting for them to say, we have started on the third temple and it'll be done by this Sabbath. And then you should know it's a wrap. It's basically a wrap at that point. Because if we don't decide to unite and be righteous, not just unite and not give a crap, but actually be righteous, actually long to serve God. If we can't do that or we won't do that, you know what? By rights, we basically deserve what we got coming. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. We have to show. Yes, baby. We have to show everybody. And I mean, this is, from our point of view and everybody's point of view, but we got to show everybody that we're not this joke of a group of people. Hold on. I will get you a bottle in a minute. Set this on the table for me. Just set it on the table for me. Oh my God. Oh, hold on one second, doctor. Let me go and get this child a bottle, and then we'll continue this conversation. Hold on, everybody. Okay, just let me get you. Hold on. Oh, I'm calling you back, caller. Hold on. We're calling the caller. Oh, come on, pick up the phone.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
No. Oops. Well, thank God this number wasn't on there. All right. The phone lines are open, by the way, guys. Please feel free to call in. Hold on. Let me sit down. Here, let me take this. I know where I can get you. Hold on. Go and play. Yes, be free, child. Be free. All right, I am back. Sorry about that, everybody. Doctor, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Sorry about that. It's just that we were at that crossroad. If I didn't capitulate to the demands of the audience, they would have had a meltdown. So I did the right thing. Now, back to this political thing. If the purpose of the Black Caucus is not to assist in the upliftment of the Black people, then what is its purpose?
It's to cause the debasement of black people.
So, do you think that, let me see how to word this properly. Do you think that it started off as a noble and righteous endeavor, but was subverted over the years to become basically another form of gatekeeper to keep people, in check?
Well, it's sort of like most date rapes start off nice, but they usually end all the same way.
So, what about the? I know you've heard of this, the UFO sightings that's been in the media here lately.
Okay, well, UFOs. I don't really care about the UFOs. I want reparations. Now, that's a UFO for me as a check. An unidentified object in my mailbox. That's the only UFO I care about. It's a reparations check.
I got a question from the chat room from Sister Alexandria. Can you ask Dr. Short, why did they put Jay-Z billionaire status on blast like that? Who is he about to start working for? Was that noticed to be to the elites? He is not a businessman as it is portrayed.
Well, we know that Jay-Z is an employee. And whether he is or is not a billionaire, we have lots of black billionaires. Relatively speaking, they don't do anything for us. So if he is a billionaire, we're not getting any of it. And he built off his empire of what? Following Aleister Crowley, a drug-addicted pedophile, LGBT, Luciferian. That he's promoting wickedness in our community. He was a drug dealer. I mean, why do these people get to be our heroes? And yet they're going to take this man who is a drug dealer as our hero.
No, it might be the speaker. I'm sorry, Dr. Short. We got a caller on the line as well. Brother David's on the line. Can you hear him? Can you say something, brother?
No, but I don't hear him.
Hold on.
No worries. No worries.
Oh, no, he can hear. Now you're talking. Say something, Brother David. Dr. Short should be able to hear you.
You said politics and reparations, correct?
Correct.
Is that like what they call it, the ADOS?
No. This is not the descendants. It involves the descendants of slaves, but it's not a part. That's just a mindset that I threw out there, meaning that the politicians should have played ball. It would have been in their political advantage for their constituents to have cash in their pockets. And it would be a sign that, yes, they are legislating right because we are prospering economically, and then we can start working spiritually. I mean, even the storefront preacher, we got paid on the deal. Everybody, it was a win-win for the nation. They would have unleashed these. Listen, if you don't understand now, I know you do, Brother David. This ain't so much towards you. If you don't understand $22 trillion in debt over the past 8 years, then you don't understand anything. They are shooting out money every which way but your way. And if you don't...
wait, sir. Let me cut you off, sir.
Okay.
Let me cut you off. I'm sorry, sir. Now, you said $3 trillion in 8 years?
No. 11 trillion in 8 years.
Oh, 11 trillion.
Yes. It doubled. It's basically doubled.
Okay, one moment. Now, I'm stuck on the 2.3 trillion back in 2001 on, say, 9/10, Rumsfeld or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do we separate the ADOS and the reparations? Because reparations is not happening from the where we're coming to as far as the melanin, because you know me, Pat.
Yes, that's
you
the
gotta
problem.
take it to the court, say the right words. In other words, civil liter mortuus, in propria persona, sui juris. Have it on camera, document it, and then you get your particular reparations. And then the hub can get on and popping. But other than that, sir, that is not happening because it's still 3/5 of a naga, as they say.
Oh, yes.
And it ain't happening. But no one's scared. Let's go to court. What the fuck, Pat? What the fuck?
Yes. We have to do something.
Now I'm finished talking. Bye, Naga.
Thank you, Brother David. Very insightful. But, Doctor, do you see the people's backs are up against the wall?
Their backs have been up against the wall.
And
that's not new. It's perhaps we're being honest with ourselves with our backs up against the wall. That's perhaps the only difference.
So why do we keep falling for the same leaderships over and over and over and over?
You use the word we. I don't think we collectively do anything. We go along with. I think Obama's the only thing I can point to where black people collectively said, you can rape and fool me. We really let Obama screw us. Obama's the absolute worst of all time. And we should have been able to see that coming. And there were people telling the truth that were willing to lose friends and families. And all the people that were happy, folks were telling the truth. Hey, look, y'all, these folks are fake. He's fake. And a lot of black folks didn't want to hear that. They did not want to hear Obama. Obama was not for us. They didn't want to hear it. They wanted to be lied to. It felt good. The media was praising him. Look, white people like them. We love them too.
Oh, hold on. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hey, Pat, one last thing.
Go for it.
1 of 3. Now, I don't fuck with Obama. I don't fuck with Trump. We know the first president is not George Washington. But the last of the other two things is Obama was and he told that it's not a Christian nation. It's all Moors. You've seen the flag. Hillary had to do her shit on another little thing, go back in the past. And then Trump is exposing these fucking faggot pedophiles. Let all that gay shit go. Nothing against that shit, but come on, it's not natural. Let's go with the naturality. Even in their book, Let me think. Multiply, prosper, spread this motherfucker, right?
Right.
Ethos the movie with Willie Harrelson, my man, you know. Everyone in the world can live in California. The Horn of Africa, Ethiopia, the land alone will feed the world. All the rest of these killers, stupid, you know, I call it the gay faggot mafia. Look at Fat Joe. I mean, not look at him, but he exposed it earlier. I'm East Coast. I'm all the coast. The fucking world is mine. Antarctica too. Fuck it. Hollow Earth, Mars, 666, Sirius A, B, and C, Dogon, the Mali tribe. All that is mine. So Nagas, link up or shut the fuck up. Shout out to my Tainos. I'm out. Bye, Nagas.
All right, Brother David. Wow. Gave us something to think about for sure. But back to Obama. Failure to really put a proper legacy that we all could be proud of. And at the same time, promoting the homosexual agenda, signing the marriage bill, making out with Larry Sinclair, and what else? That's about it. You know, I mean, President Bush, an oil man, got many people killed for that black gold, and they made out quite well. And that leads us to Air Trump, who's I can't wait to get Maddox back on, but could possibly be an ace in the hole. Because if you guys remember when I had Brother Ted Hayes on from LA, he was talking about the constitutions, and there's things in the Constitution that specifically apply to us. And that if we press the president by law, he would have to. No. Don't come in here with that. Go back in that way. Go back that way, please. I said please. 2-year-olds. Gotta love them. Now, Doctor, do you have any knowledge on the vaccine programs, like what Bill Gates Foundation, the atrocities they've committed in Kemet?
You know, I don't have a whole lot, but look, the vaccines, anyone can look it up. They've got mercury, they've got all kinds of things that are unsafe in this. They had a Dr. Kaprowski who was deliberately giving people bad stuff 60 plus years ago. All vaccines, every vaccination is not a bad thing, but if the people have a policy of making money and they're selling vaccines, then there is a financial incentive for people to be sick. If there's a financial incentive for people to be sick, then people will be sick, and they will poison people because it pays. We've created a beast. It's no longer a health system, but it's an unhealth, an illness-driven payoff for certain people. Why would they get anything right? They don't have to.
You know, there was a question in the chat room by Sister Alexandra yet again. How is Queen Elizabeth so rich? Is it true that she owes half of America? Does she participate in rituals involving blood?
I don't know about the blood, but there is a very good book I couldn't afford to buy that I saw in a bookstore in England, and the book was called Who Owns the United Kingdom? And what I can tell you, can you turn it up? Can you turn that down? That noise is awful.
Oh, it's a caller. Hey, caller, welcome to the show.
Real quick, Pat. There are two penises, so-called, and one dynasty called that rules the world. It's the Vatican, the the Russian Pope, and then the Queen. Quit playing games. Haile Selassie is the greatest of the rest, but the Moors is on. Bye, Nagas, and stop all the rest of it, Pat, is too more or less elementary for you and everyone in your chat room, and even the cool doc. Let's go deeper. How about Sirius A, B, and C? How about the Hubble telescope that can't do 360 once you go outside the dome? That maybe it's not a dome. They can't even do anything with their space shuttles and shit. Remember when it's blown up in front of your face and you were a young child? You was like, oh, mommy, daddy, what the fuck? And then you can Google it right now. All the asses are still around. Bye, Naga. Damn, Pat. Go deeper.
Hold on. You're still there, Doctor. Good. Now,
yeah,
you're aware of the Vatican and the Queen's relationship.
I'm about to check out. It's just very busy tonight, brother.
Yeah.
It throws off. It's too much. It throws off. And every time the sister asks me a question, then the call comes in. It's not. Can it have a flow? So if it's gonna be grab bag, it's gonna like my attention span is like fragile.
No, okay. Then we're gonna shut down. We just shut down the phone lines, so we don't gotta worry about that. And let's just focus on the chat room. Let's just stay focused.
That's a question she asked too, and each time there was a call, and this all went on. So I don't know how they're taking that. So to try to answer, look, the Queen of England, they have the crown jewels, right?
Right.
That's all jewels and things that they stole from other places. But keeping it local, the British Crown, which the Queen runs it, they own a huge amount of land in England, Scotland, Ireland, Australia, South Africa, the United States.
Canada.
They own Canada, New Zealand, Fiji, you name it, they own all over. In addition to that, if you just go back to England, they own all of the land off the coast of England. That means oil, minerals, all of that belongs to the Queen. So at minimum, she's worth, 15, 20 billion or more? And I think that's a conservative number.
Wow.
So they own property down in Georgia. This is what got Cynthia McKinney in trouble. Cynthia McKinney went up against the royal family because they were getting profits off of the kale and taken out of northeast Georgia, where my family's from. These people were putting people under 99-year leases, and they were stealing all the clay out of the ground. The kale pectate and the shiny, glossy magazines are made from from elements in the clay found in Georgia. The Crown owned a lot of this stuff, but through proxy. In fact, a lot of things are hidden that they own. It's the same way that the Saudis, the Saudi royal family, they buy up and get things, and they have advantages over ordinary people, even in business. They can take something from under someone else. So you need to remember that the Queen is not only Queen of England, but as a Commonwealth, all the nations that used to be part of the British Empire, she's their queen too. And they give her stuff, and she owns stuff, and she gets certain things, and whoever else. These landed families, the banking families in Europe, not just the Windsors, these folks are the true richest white people on the planet. And they have had money for hundreds and hundreds of years. And they trace their roots back to ancient Egypt. And so these are the pharaohs, great, to the 10th power, grandchildren. They've always had money. Do they do all kinds of stuff? I wouldn't be surprised what these people do. Nothing would surprise me. And so I would say anything is on the table. It's very clear that someone assassinated Diana. It's very clear. And it's very clear that Charles and these other people have all kinds of very interesting lives. It's very interesting that one of the royals hangs out with Orgy Island where they molest kids in the Caribbean.
Something happened to your phone. You got low.
Oh, I didn't get low.
All right, it's back. There was like a scratch and then it got low.
No, I didn't do anything. I'm saying to you that Jeffrey Epstein, the Jewish billionaire who would take people to the Virgin Islands. Excuse me?
Jeffrey Epstein ran the Lolita Express, piping down
Yes.
people like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump to his little secluded island.
One of the royal family members was involved in that.
Wow.
And so I don't know what happened. What we do know is that Mr. Epstein got busted for having sex with underage kids. All of this, that's the fact. It's being discussed right now, and they rewarded that gentleman, the prosecutor, Mr. Acosta, who's now the Secretary of Labor, who's now in hot water. They're paying some attention to it, but he got a sweetheart deal. And Mr. Epstein is friends with all of Black Hollywood. He's involved with all kinds of odd things and so forth, and connected to the power elite. What these people do, I wouldn't put any limits on it. Do they have secret societies that do all kinds of perverse things? They probably do. I'm not trying to go to any to find out to be an eyewitness. But there's great wickedness. There's great evil. And we don't have to get into their little secret rituals. We can look at people manipulating the prices of currency or food, which has caused, 10, 12, 15, 20 million more people to die a year because they get into biofuels, so they're going to turn food into food fuel, which means that the price of food goes to the roof. People can't afford to eat because someone decides to do that. There's a concept that's called creative chaos, where you make wars or you cause shocks to the economy, you gentrify, you destroy. Certain people see this as a good thing. So we don't have to find out if they have sex with little kids, if they drink blood. They're behind organ harvesting. They're behind all kinds of things.
You still there, Doctor? Okay, there was some beeping. I got a question from the chat room. With so many leaving the church and religion, should we promote home worship, smaller groups, as a way to combat all the lawlessness and lies?
Yeah.
And another question from Sister Alexandria. What is the prominent black pastor saying about the homosexual bill?
Oh, I don't know of any that are really gone the record against it. Okay, I just want to say that to you. You know that the one that looks like the one that the morbidly obese one that they're trying to put up, Reverend William Barber. He supports the Gay Equality Act. Carlton Pearson supports the Gay Equality Act. Magic Johnson supports the Gay Equality Act. By extension, Magic Johnson's best friend, who receives a lot of his money, Bishop, what's his name?
Carlton Pearson?
Not Carlton Pearson. The head of the Church of God in Christ. Charles Blake, through silence, is saying nothing about the Gay Equality Act. The National Baptist Convention USA, the National Baptist America, the Progressive Baptist, PAW, none of the major black denominations have verbally come out and denounced the Gay Equality Act or this new act, Every Child Deserves a Loving Home, that's being promoted by John Lewis. There is a new group called the National Congress of Black Churches, led by Gay Equality Act booster, Al Sharpton. So the AME, CME, AMEZ, you name it, they've said nothing. As bodies, they've said nothing. The Catholics, some of the Catholic bishops have come out against it. Some, most, black, everything has bowed to the gay agenda. All the black journalists, all the black athletes, all the black singers, all the black celebrities, all the black civil rights people, practically 100% of black people that you look up to are either saying nothing or they're supporting the Gay Equality Act, that the rights of pedophiles and people want to have sex with animals is analogous to the civil rights of black people.
That's disgusting.
Almost all. And until folks, I'm talking about, throw eggs or turn their back on pastors or say, I'm no longer tied into this church because you won't take a stand for the gospel, I'm out of here. Until people say, I don't want, you know what, I put my house and my will for the church, I want it back. When people take their money away from these no good nigger preachers, this is the beginning of our liberation. We are enslaved by these crooked coon preachers. Let me just say something to you. I challenge anybody listening to this to read the Acts of the Apostles from chapter 1 to whatever chapter it ends. You'll never see a mention of a tithe. Never. Anywhere in the Acts of the Apostles. The tithing was a part of the Jewish, the disgraced system that existed before Jesus came along and told people to take another direction. Tithing is not New Testament, it is Old. Giving is New Testament. In fact, you can give more than 10%. If you go back to Acts 2, people gave everything.
Yes.
And Acts 4, they gave everything. It wasn't 10%. Okay, that 10%, that's based on the old system for the temple, that you gave 10% to keep the temple, but there was an understanding. If you gave 10%, there was a responsibility of those people to look out for the poor, needy, indigent, and widows. You show me a black church of any sort that's taking care of poor, needy, and widows. I mean, I'm talking about every single solitary one that they can. You won't find them. It does not exist. These people collect money under fraudulent pretexts. It is ungodly. It is wicked. If black folks stop giving their money, they're giving billions and billions of dollars to these people. And that money doesn't turn into schools, hospitals, or jobs. This goes into a pocket of a few corrupt people. We need to stop going to these places. The more of these churches that ground to a halt, when people, in particular black women, have to stop funding these no good, effeminate, sorry-ass black men. Did I say don't give if it's a good, righteous ministry that is sharing the money with the poor and the needy, which is what happened? If you say you want to be like Jesus or like the first church did not support ostentation for the pastor to have a Bentley and the people are walking the church or they're in one of those little handicapped scooters. That isn't the church of God. And most black ministers that do this are perpetuating a fraud on our people. It is corrupt, it's evil, it's wicked. Not giving, but telling people God said you have to give me 10% or he's going to get you. It's not true. In fact, if you read the Acts of the Apostles, they didn't say that people gave as they were able. If you had a need, God looked out for you. There was no number set. And if you had millions and millions of dollars and you don't need to live on millions, then you put something aside for yourself and you gave the rest to the collective, to the community. The first people to be killed by the Holy Ghost in the New Testament were Ananias and Sapphira. These were people who lied to the early church people, promising that they were going to give all this money. And they lied. They didn't have to give any more than what they said they would give. They lied. They lied against their own giving. And they were killed in front of the congregation.
Wow.
And it wasn't 10%. It was what you pledged, that you could give, that you would give, that you didn't need, that would look out for the collective. We need to pray that some of these preachers drop dead, and some of these female preachers as well that are no good.
Now, her question from the chat. Could you ask Dr. Short about the theory of Charles Darwin and Thomas Malthus and how they were used by the ruling class to justify genocide, theft of the world's resources, and why everyday people believe them?
Well, first of all, let's do Darwin's theory is a theory. No one can prove it. And you can disprove Darwin 100 times in the day. Okay, if evolution, show me, has humanity evolved in the last 50 years, the last 500 years, in the last few thousand years where they have recorded history, have human beings evolved?
No.
Have we grown an additional leg or new eye or any of that? The answer is no. They find animals that they say existed millions of years ago, so the evolutionists say, and the animals are exactly the same. Why haven't they evolved? Why aren't turtles without shells? And ask yourself, if you have a house cat or a dog, how many millions of years did it take for the cat or the dog to learn how to do tricks, to open doors and open things and jump on tables? How many millions of years did it take for cats and dogs to learn that? And in reality, if it takes millions of years of cats and dogs to learn that, and human beings and animals and dogs and cats have only been dealing with each other about 5,000 years, and it's impossible. It's not. Where were they going to learn it if they weren't associating with people? If you had a cat or a dog, and that animal tricks you, I'm certain you've had a cat or a dog, Patrick. Has that animal outfoxed you now and then?
Of course, they always do.
That's okay, well, but wait a minute. Shouldn't they have had an evolutionary process by which they learned how to fool you? If we go with Charles Darwin, and there's always this evolution, this is garbage. Charles Darwin's family owned slaves in the Caribbean. When slavery ended, or when slavery, when slavery where you outright owned black people was ending, they needed to find another justification to hurt, kill, destroy, and harm black people. And they came up with evolution. The whole title is long. It talks about favored races.
Right.
It's racist. In other words, the struggle between favored races, right? In other words, we're not a favored race, so we deserve what we get.
Right.
Charles Darwin has a cousin named Francis Galton. Francis Galton came up with eugenics, the perfect race. And of course, you know which race isn't perfect. Ours. And yet, if we really went with into this evolution, right, and the first people are black, then evolution has to be thrown in the trash. If we're the inferior species, and there's polygenesis, that we come from multiple Adams and Eves, which the DNA throws in the trash, we shouldn't even be talking about Darwin. Right. The DNA stuff throws Darwin in the trash as far as people goes, and if people can't be proven, if any of the theory falls, then all of it falls. If you can't prove that we have a different chromosomal structure from white people, in fact, black people are more human than anybody else. Why? If you go to a hospital, you'll find the hospitals always want black people's blood because it's universal. Anybody can use it. Why is our blood applicable to all people, our organs more accepted by all people around the world? Because we're the original folks. That throws Charles Darwin in the trash. Malthus, he's greedy, and these people always want to kill all the poor people. Why do people believe that they've been taught this in school? They've been blackmailed. If you're in the university, you have to embrace evolution the same way you're being forced to press to take LGBTQ.
Yeah.
The rich, satanic, Luciferian people want this, and if you don't go along with it, you can't have anything. The people that run this world that are anti-God, they're anti-scripture, they're anti-truth, They have their little beliefs that they demand that people follow.
Correct.
You don't get to debate evolution. Get a person to explain evolution to you. Scientists, they can't. They get confused. As scientists, they can't even explain it to you. Well, how can it be if you can't explain or you don't even understand that? You can't get a PhD in mathematics, chemistry, in any subject where you can't defend, justify, and explain what it is that you're saying, except for evolution. The same way that they're saying I'm a woman in a man's body, or I'm a woman today, I'm a man tomorrow. Well, maybe I'm no sex. Maybe I'm just sex junk. It's the same sort of gobbledygook from the same people. I'm going to need to take a call. Hold just a moment, please.
Okay. We can definitely hold. You know, guys, just to compliment what Doctor said, when you really look at evolution, they're ultimately saying you are a monkey. And when they throw a banana at you, it's not a sign of disrespect. It's a sign of your evolution. This is utterly disgusting in this day and age that we even need to go down this unrighteous road. And like Chatter said, if you want to get a science degree, you have to digest and accept evolution. And remember the series that I've been showing you, atheism slash Satanism slash evolutionaryism, whatever, evolution. It's all one big cabal designed to rip out your spirituality and reduce you to an animal, quite literally. If you identify with that mindset, if you digest it and accept it, then you're accepting the new form of supremacy over you. And it's all make-believe and fantasy. No, you did not, Brother Chris. You are a child of God, the one true living God of the universe made you and placed you on this mud ball so that you too can learn, just as we all are learning. What's up, Brother DT? Haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome back to the show. Actually, they are the last form of humans according to their own... Of course. And evolution always gets better and better. The real mathematics, think about it. They're the cream of the crop and you're the slop at the drop. It's really utterly disgusting. Genetic marker. SLC 205. Enlighten yourself. You know what? Let's do that. Let's enlighten ourselves. Genetic marker. SLC 205. What, did that not take? Okay, well, I'll just bang this out by hand. That did not sound cool at all. I will type this out by hand. How about that? Do you think Dr. Short believes in peppering? What exactly is peppering? I don't know what his culinary skill level is. And I don't know what peppering is. Yeah, what's peppering? I guess I'm old and off the damn loop. Explain this shit. Genetic marker, glossary. I want to go to some image. No, okay, let's go back. Should we be bombarding our representatives with the same agenda? If they would listen to us, they. Oh, prepping. Oh, preparing. Like I see a prepper. Hold on. Let's see what this says.
The term landmark, it means a geographical feature.
Well, I know he's a gardener. Hold on, let's see what this narration's saying.
That explorers and others would use to find their way back or through an area. I live in Washington, D.C. Imagine that you're visiting me and this is your first time in the U.S. Capitol.
And I would check your iPad, lady. Make sure you don't have some malware from China.
And you really want to visit the White House. But you don't know the city plan, but you have a city guide that says that it's very close by to the Washington Monument. So what do? You kind of look up and locate the Washington Monument, and then you start walking through the city blocks, trying to get close to it. Once you get there, you know that you are not in the White House yet, but you know that you're very, very close. So that's what the genetic explorer does.
And now you see why these folks got CRISPR. They're actually making babies while we're talking about killing babies. Isn't that ironic? China's actually making genetically modified human beings while we're advocating killing the little human beings that are here the old-fashioned way. I don't even know what to do. Hold on. Oh, Dr. Short's still there. Hopefully. You know, this is what's so different about my show. Most shows be like, oh, how dare you get off the phone, blah, 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 blah. My show's too laid back. I mean, I know you can basically hear everybody around us, but, this is what real down-to-earth talking's all about, and having real conversations that are timeless. These conversations that we have on this show are timeless. They're not just locked in just for today. They're just as relevant tomorrow as they will be the day after that and the day after that. The oldest maternal DNA is M2 from the Eastern Rift Valley of Kemet, not Africa. Sister Alexander, can you ask Doctor if he thinks that Jesus will return or God will come and to intervene? Or will it be us that wipes Earth out and then we'll restart again? That's a really good question. Knowing the doctor, I would probably say, I won't say anything. Let's let him say it all. Because I don't put nobody, I'm not making comments for nobody except for myself. But that's a really good question. Excellent question. Let's read about this genetic marker. A genetic marker is a DNA sequence with a known physiological location on a chromosome. Genetic markers can help link an inherited disease with the responsible gene. DNA segments close to each other on the chromosome tends to be inherently together. Genetic markers are used to track the inheritance of a nearby gene. My God, this is so blurry to me. That has not yet been identified, but those approximate location is known. Gene markers itself may be a part of a gene or may have no function that we are aware of. Why do you think spirituality is spirituality? Some people are more spiritual than others. Some of that, these genes don't have no function, doctor. Well, that's because that's junk DNA. And then you come to find out, oh no, that's because this guy was a narcissist, pathological killer. He lacked the connection to the spiritual world because his physical body impeded that connection. So they're going to edit out all this stuff, making more and more cruel and vicious, savage, but extremely strong and extremely intelligent human beings. Yes, we are on a broken ship. It's off kill, but somehow it's not totally sinking. We can right this boat, man, but it's going to take an honest, sincere effort by us. No one else. No one else, frankly, gives a damn, Scarlett. They really don't. And time's fast running out for us. Another 100 years, there ain't going to be no one around talking about, hey, it'll be like, do you remember the legend of the American Negro? And then someone's going to be like, oh, yes, I remember reading about the terrible demise of that blotted folks. They basically pimped and hustled themselves into oblivion. What a shame, what a shame. That's what it's going to be, man. Because a couple hundred years from now, you ain't going to be able to sit up here talking about slavery this, slavery reparation. What the hell are you talking about? That happened 300 years ago. We're about at the end of it. Most people who can remember the really brutal days are dying out every day. The people who have been living in this covert racist society not overt in some cases, covert in most cases. Oh, we just had to get rid of Jamal. Well, why? Well, did you ever see those braids and dreadlocks? Come on, man. You are forced every day, if you have nappy, kinky hair, to either just let it fly out or sit there and basically hurt yourself every damn day. Come on now. We need to do what Iceland did and fire their entire government. Yeah, Reed, if we didn't abort so many people, perhaps we could have done that. But, since so many people ended up at the bottom of a trash bag, 13% of population don't really have too much to say. But yeah, I was a boss. I'm just being real, man. Nobody wants to be honest. That's all you really have to say. You don't have enough fucking manpower. You don't have enough people in key positions. And the ones you do have in any positions has nothing but disdain and hate for us, collectively. Because we didn't help them get to where they're at. We didn't give them encouragement on their way up. So they become bitter, but they become rich and drunk with power at the same time. A sister said something about Jesus coming back or God intervened. But the only advice I can truly give sincerely is love and prayer to change hardened hearts till we awaken, if possible, humanity in these people. Because it might not be possible. There might be something to this genetic disconnect that disconnects people from the true spirituality of the thing. So therefore, all your spiritual energies and drive is just kind of being bounced off of nothing, or going into a black hole and being, utilized in other ways. Question: how was the first century Christian church set up? How can we? I'm sorry, guys. It's loud over here. How can we How can we set up like it, since we know the churches are so corrupt? Junior, brother Junior. That's why the hub is so important. Now, if we can, 13% is enough to do the hub. There's enough of us. We can do the hub ourselves, fund it and build it ourselves. But that requires people to commit to the hub. Fundamentally and sincerely commit to the hub. Uh-oh. I think we lost Dr. Short. But, that's fine. That's fine. So I'm sure it's rather late where he's at. And we have gone an hour and 30 minutes on this. All right? We can do it ourselves. We can build it. We can design it. And most importantly, we can control it. We'll set it up like a religion. And every member gets a house on the hub. You won't pay taxes on this house. It'll be yours to give to your children. Or if you don't have no children, it'll be reassigned to another member. Once we get other hubs cracking, you can leave that house and get another house at a different hub with the same deal. What? What's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? Come here. Why did your sister go running off? What did she do to you? That's not a ball. That's a baseball helmet. That's a baseball helmet. All right. Well, it's terribly late here. School's out, so I'm letting them stay up a little late. No, this is not yours. So I'm going to hopefully. Okay. Now. Whoa! Why did I gotta? What the heck? This is weird. this is my phone, and you're not going to conquer it. You're not going to do a Columbus on me. You can't see? Well, get the helmet off your head, silly. All right. Now, what I was trying to say. Hey, greetings, Sister Hunt. Welcome to the show. Now, this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to finish this thought about the hub, because it's quite important. We fund the hub ourselves. Your family can walk down the damn street without getting shot. We fund the hub ourselves. You don't got to worry about junkies sitting up there in the yard. Needles all over the street. We fund the hub. Now, you can do what you want to do up in your house. That's your business. But this crap's not going down the street. That's the code we live by. That crap don't come out on the street. Do what you got to do behind your closed doors. That's in all things. All right? Your kid learning how to drive. And the hub's going to be big. It's not going to be just like a block. It's going to be huge. And kids learning, and you know, we encourage the kids to stay on the hub. They can go out freely. Everybody can come and go. But you don't have to worry about some punk jive ass cop driving up. Let me see your ID. Kid reached for the ID. Boom, 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 boom. I was scared. Oh, I was scared. None of that. You're like, well, how can we afford electricity on all that? We have people looking for proper locations for the hub now. We're going to have miniature hydro electric systems. Hold on. I'll show you exactly what we'll have. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I can't really type because I'm holding a baby right now. Hold on. Miniature hydroelectric systems. Right here. Boom. You want to finish this? Do you want to finish this? Isn't this a trip? Look how Karate Kid, the bad guy's the good guy. This is it. Check this out, y'all. This will be free. And you can have your little solar panels. But everybody will have access to this 24-hour water system here. Have 10 of them installed. That can do thousands of homes. Thousands. All right, I want to turn off the music because I don't want no copyright issue. What the hell? Okay. Okay, more. You can read. I'll read along. All right. Basically, the turbine's right there. No, it doesn't matter if it's raining or shining. It's providing constant. What's wrong, baby? What's wrong? You want to go night-night? You ready to go night-night? Huh? You ready to go night-night? You're not? Oh, baby. All right. The beautiful thing about this here, we can plug it in along the natural water source. Keep power going. No stupid electrical lines. Every house will have its own power. And water, guess what? It's called, we'll buy an electric pump and we'll dig a well. Boom, there's your water. I mean, all of this, and the reason why I want to do this off-grid is so that the money that goes into the hub can stays in the hub. You can still work, or, you know, find a job if you relocate. Find a job, you know, wherever. And then you don't think about it. When you're working like that, does any of your money go to rent? No, because you're on the house. Does any money, you know, we'll have, you know, I would suggest, and this is a kind of legal bit, but it's very important. But, you know, we need to make it to where everybody should have to buy their own homeowner's insurance so that the hub's not responsible for the insurance liability of all the separate properties. And that way that'll give people, you know, a little sense of, you know, true ownership, even though they will have true ownership. And then, because these houses aren't for sale, they're assigned to you for life, as long as you know, want to live there before you go to the nursing home or the grave. But this right here, I've been thinking of the actual practicalities. All right, now go. I would definitely contribute to a think tank. Well, we definitely need all the minds possible. This isn't a one-man show, the real. This isn't just for the guys either, sisters. Everybody's voice and planning phase is most welcome. Most welcome. You know why? Because we are stronger together. We are. Okay, but hold on one second. Hold on one second. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta put this baby to sleep, guys. Now, no more appeasing. What if the water freezes? See, brother. Hold on. Now, water's depending on